Hey LARP fans, how's it going? This week I thought I'd go through the process that I go through mentally and physically when I'm designing a new character. So I'm going to look at the NPC that I play at Future's End and all the bits and pieces that I did to actually take it from a concept, an idea and just a bunch of rules on a bit of paper through to backstory, where I got the inspiration for the costume from, and eventually what costume I've ended up with. Now, as I said, this is for my NPC that I'll be playing at Future's End. However, this applies to every single character that I've ever made, like ever. So hopefully this will help you the next time you're writing a character. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. The first thing that I like to do is start writing a bit of backstory. Now, it doesn't have to be very long, doesn't have to be very in-depth, but it has to be something that is the basis of the character. Now, that could be just a tiny bit of backstory of where they grew up, something that happened in their life. It could be even a fear or a secret or a worry or a dream. It's just something that starts turning that little blob of clay into your character. So with my character Future's End, I started off with a few little bits and pieces. Where he is in the world, what he does, his job, people that he meets, any relationships that he might be in, any family and friends that might be around at the time, and just kind of grow it from there. But the great thing is, once I've got a little bit of backstory, I can move on to costume, which is my favourite bit. But that little bit of backstory gives me a rough idea on the kind of things that they'd wear or things that they'd use. So the next thing is working out what my character looks like, and the best way to do this that I find is just to start a Pinterest board. Whenever I start a new Pinterest board for a character, I like to start with keywords that are relevant to the game that I'm playing. So for example, with Future's End, there's a lot of Cyberpunk, kind of Shadowrun feelings around it. So I just typed in Cyberpunk and went from there, which led into Cyberpunk fashion, Cyberpunk cities, and it just helped me build up an idea of exactly what my character would look like. And that eventually evolved into this kind of asymmetrical, flowing shapes, lots of layers, quite broken up and shadowy and shading. And again, that played into the background that I've written. So he's, likes to do these dodgy deals and sort of back alley stuff and kind of trying to muscle his way in, quite shady dealings. So it all sort of pulls it together and helps me make the character. Now, once you've got your backstory and you've got your rough ideas on how you want your characters to look, it's time to start buying and making and building all the bits and pieces that you're going to need for your character's costume. Fortunately, because Future's End is a modern setting game, I've got a great opportunity to buy a lot of bits and pieces quite cheap, because there's a load of stuff out there that fits the aesthetic that I'm aiming for. There's just cheap import stuff from China. And the great thing is, I already had a pair of boots lying around, and you've seen the tutorial that I did to actually make the boots for this character. So there we go. That's the 3 easy steps that I go through when I'm making a new character for a LARP game. Write up a small backstory, get on Pinterest and work out exactly what they're going to look like, and then buy all the stuff, make it, build it, whatever you got to do. So here's all the bits and pieces I got for my costume. So the first thing that we have, you've seen before. It's the boots that I made. So these were a pair of new rock reactors, and I've just gone to town with them in the shed, duffed them up, scraped them up. I've actually used a little bit of sandpaper and acetone, all sorts of things, and just made them look really worn and battered and, like they're lived in. Exactly the kind of thing that a wandering trader would have, I think. Just a good pair of boots that you'd always stay in. You wouldn't bother changing them because they do the job. Now, the second thing is a pair of these jeans. They're actually drop crotch jeans, and they've got these like dungaree suspendery bits if they weren't tangled. I went for these purely because I saw a lot of Cyberpunk clothing that had a lot of drop crotch trousers with them. Occasionally they had a bit of frilling, but I really like the dungaree part of it. I think it looks really cool. Now, moving on to the top part of the body, I wanted to start with a nice kind of jumper as the base layer, something nice and thin that I could build everything on top of. So what I started with is this. Now, this is one of those Assassin's Creed style hoodies that you always see on like Amazon and eBay, and it was only about a tenner, to be honest. It's got that asymmetrical zip, which I think adds a nice dynamic to it and puts everything off center. The cut on the bottom has got this kind of angular bit as well. Nothing's entirely straight. And it's got this nice big hood that, I could put over my head and have that nice shadowy figure look going on. Adding a bit more to that idea of, lots of flowing layers, I've got this poncho kind of thing here. I like the fact it's got this high neck as well, means I can put it up over my face like this. It's going to keep me warm, which is ideal because, let's be honest, the weather in England's a bit naff this time of year. And it's just building up those layers, and it's black, so it works, I like it. I also picked up this nice thin scarf. This was in H&M, it was about £8, but I love the fact that it's really, really wide. I can sort of drape it over my head if I want to, and it goes all the way around. I just build it up, I can stick it over a shoulder. I like that as well. And it's got loads of different uses. And if nothing else, it keeps me warm. And again, it's playing on that long flowing, asymmetrical, lots of different layers look that I'm after. Got myself some fingerless gloves as well, kind of for 2 reasons. So the first one is to keep my hands warm, which is always a bonus. And secondly, because I'm crewing as well, that means I'm going to be running around a lot and through the forest and sort of reffing. and it's just ideal to keep my hands a bit more protected. And there we go, that's the process that I go through when I'm making a new character. So just to recap, first of all I write a bit of a backstory to get an idea of the character and get to know him a bit better. Then I jump onto Pinterest, get all the ideas into one localised place. And then thirdly, I buy all the bits and pieces and then I'm ready to go. So there we go, that's it for this week guys. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, if you want to read my character's backstory, it's all up on my Tumblr page. I also do quite a lot of other project work up there, so it might be interesting to you guys if you want to check it out. And hey, while you're at it, why not hit the like button, subscribe button, leave a comment below. But as always, I've been Adman, you've been awesome, and I will see you wonderful people next time. If you're super cool, you'll click down here on the left and you'll check out the tutorial where I take those new rock boots and use them into the boots that I'll be using at Future's End. And if you click down here on the right, you'll be absolutely amazing and you'll get to check out the Q&A where I answer your LARP questions. But if you've already seen them, I'll just see you next week. Bye!